This video might just change everything about how you see reality and how you see money and the trap of chasing it. Most of the ideas of financial freedom are just illusions that's been fed to you. You've been told financial security is the goal, a comfortable life, a peaceful retirement. But what if the very pursuit of it is costing you the one thing you can't get back, your present? This isn't just about your bank account or some distant retirement dream. It's about a silent theft that many of us endure, a profound cost that drains your most precious resource, time itself. Have you ever felt that nagging whisper, that deep-seated sense that despite doing everything right, checking every box society told you to, something fundamental, something vital, is still missing? You see, the promise of financial freedom, the idea that then you'll finally live, isn't just an aspiration. It's a carefully crafted illusion, a narrative deeply embedded in society, designed not for your fulfillment, but for your predictable consumption and continued obedience to a system you might not even realize exists. The rules of the game were set long before you even knew you were playing. From childhood, you were taught a clear path to success is study hard, get a good job, work diligently for decades, then retire. You were taught that hard work, loyalty, and quiet perseverance are virtues. But what if that belief, what Nietzsche called the moral labor myth, the idea that suffering through work is inherently noble, is precisely the invisible cage that keeps you from living? It's a system that praises hard work but funnels the true rewards elsewhere, to those who understand power, not just effort. This isn't about blaming anyone or offering quick fixes. It's about waking up. It's about recognizing the psychological trap that defines your worth by productivity and teaches adaptation instead of authentic self-expression. Because the uncomfortable truth is, while you're diligently playing by rules they handed you, someone else is learning how to change the board. In this video, we're going to expose the hidden architects of this grand deception. We'll uncover why this lie persists, delving into the origins of societal conditioning that shaped your sense of self long before you knew you had a mind to shape. This isn't about working harder. It's about seeing the game that was set up against you and understanding the true cost you've already paid. What you learn next might just fundamentally alter how you view not just financial freedom, but the very purpose of your life. Stay with us, because what you learn next might just change everything. For most of us, life starts with a clear script. From childhood, we're taught the path to success is study hard, get a good job, work diligently for decades, then retire. This is our ordinary world, the hero's life as it has always been, and as we expect it to continue indefinitely. You were told this was the way to be useful, to function within a system, not to become a conscious, self-aware individual. The school system, for example, was modeled after the industrial age, prioritizing order, productivity, and control, producing workers, not thinkers. This conditioning teaches obedience, repetition, and conformity, leading many to feel successful in society's eyes, but like strangers in their own lives. But beneath this predictable surface, a deeper truth often lies hidden. Like any hero in a compelling story, you carry a wound, a profound, specific trauma, often inflicted long before the main narrative begins. This isn't just about a past event. It's a silent force that shapes your inner problem, a core flaw that keeps you stuck, emotionally defensive, and perpetually waiting for external validation. This wound might stem from being taught to define your worth by productivity, or to seek permission and approval from outside yourself, rather than trusting your own intuition. Consider the idea of moral labor, the deeply ingrained belief that suffering through work is inherently noble, that loyalty and obedience will eventually be rewarded. Nietzsche warned us, this is a form of spiritual slavery, a psychological trap designed to keep you in place. This wound manifests as the uncomfortable realization that despite your best efforts, someone else, seemingly less virtuous, always seems to rise faster, higher. You work 60 hours a week, but the system rewards control and influence, not just effort. Your self-worth fluctuates with productivity, and rest can feel guilty. These are learned patterns, programmed responses to a system that prioritizes control over curiosity. The system never asked what kind of life you wanted. It asked what kind of worker you could become. This quiet blueprint produces workers, not thinkers, trains obedience, not insight, rewards repetition, not reflection. Many people struggle with identity, purpose, and direction, not because they are broken, but because they were never shown how to look inward. No test ever asked, "What do you love?" No curriculum taught how to deal with grief or self-forgiveness. Yet these are the lessons that shape us and anchor us when life gets hard. Then something shifts. An inciting incident, a moment for the hero. It marks the true beginning of the story and no other. It's not necessarily dramatic, but it kicks you into a new reality. This is the stunning surprise one. In your personal narrative, a sudden, impactful realization that fundamentally changes your circumstances and shows you what your true struggle will be about. It's typically a shock. It must happen to the hero and take place in an instant, being emotional, visible, and impactful. Perhaps it's the quiet disorientation felt by retirees who lose their identity when their role disappears, or the nagging whisper that despite ticking every box, something vital is missing. This is the moment your inner problem rises to consciousness, no longer a subtle unease, but a clear, unsettling question. Like the cab driver Max, who has been driving for 12 years, still telling himself it's temporary, until a life or death situation forces him to acknowledge his lack of courage and his hesitancy to take risks. It's the realization that you were trained to function in the world, but not to make sense of it, or to ask deeper questions. This moment forces you to confront the deeper question. What does it mean to be free if you've spent your whole life waiting for permission to live? In every great story, the hero faces a powerful adversary, a force most committed to stopping them from achieving their goal. In your story, this adversary isn't a single person, but the very system of control that shaped your life's societal conditioning, the industrialization of existence, the fear of judgment, and the inherited belief that your worth is tied to productivity. This adversary is powerful. It has shaped generations. It encourages obedience, not sovereignty, and it benefits from your silence. The system doesn't just fail to reward hard work. It uses your belief in fairness to keep you locked in place. The longer you wait for your virtue to be noticed, the easier you are to control. This adversary promotes a slave morality, where humility is superior to strength, obedience is nobler than dominance, and suffering is a sign of moral purity. It feeds you just enough hope, a title, a plaque, a small raise to keep you dependent, while true currency like ownership, control, and power remains out of reach. This adversary exploits the just world fallacy, the comforting but untrue idea that the world is inherently fair and that effort equals outcome. While you're diligently adhering to rules, the adversary, the system, is busy building alliances, studying leverage, and understanding how to make the game work for them. The uncomfortable truth is, this system was designed for maximum output, not personal fulfillment, quietly draining your spirit in the process. It's a machine, and most people never resist it because they've never seen another option. You're now in the special world, a reality you've never truly experienced before, forcing you to confront what you've long avoided. This new world demands you grow up fast. You begin to battle against your inner conflicts, the deep-seated fears and programmed responses that hold you back. This is your midpoint battle, your first attempt to break free, to act on behalf of your authentic self, perhaps even to protect others from the same trap. The midpoint sequence is a structural crossroads, a gathering of scenes with important functions, where the hero understands for the first time what they are truly up against, reaching a point of no return and committing fully to the quest. But true change is excruciatingly difficult. You might try, you might fight, but you often fall back into old patterns. This initial battle, while courageous, won't be enough to fully break the chains. It's a moment where you try to overcome what's holding you back emotionally and physically, but it doesn't work the first time. As the story progresses, you reach what the wise call the hero's darkest hour, often triggered by stunning surprise too. This is the biggest reversal in your entire journey, the moment your carefully constructed plan for living life, the one society gave you, is utterly obliterated. This applies across all awakening. The contest becomes between individuals, where one tries to dominate or convince another, leading to this core moment of defeat. You might realize that all your striving, all your compliance, hasn't led to the freedom you were promised, but rather a quiet emptiness. This moment of profound loss can be shocking, leaving you without a map, without a plan, questioning everything. It's the moment the system stops needing you, and you're left wondering who you are without the role you played for so long. But this darkest hour isn't the end, it's the catalyst for true transformation. In this overcome stage, you finally take control of your emotional life and commit to genuine action. You learn to improvise, to navigate the unknown, because your inner growth has prepared you for this moment. This is your maturity, the act where you stop adapting to a deeply sick society and begin to consciously author your own life. This means redefining strength, not by abandoning your morals, but by merging principle with power, empathy with edge. You learn to say no when a situation no longer serves you, claiming your power to create a life that reflects your true values. Alan Watts famously stated, "You are under no obligation to be the person you were told to be." And the desire for security and the feeling of insecurity are the same thing. These aren't just philosophies. They are survival skills in a world designed to keep you from living fully now. You understand that strategic kindness is strength, knowing when to help and when to walk away, when to speak and when to stay silent. This shift from waiting to creating, from submitting to owning, is the path forward. You stop confusing submission with virtue and start building something better in its place, becoming the author of your own worth. This journey leads to a new life, a space where you are free from the emotional burden of past conditioning. Freedom isn't something you wait for. It's a capacity to be fully alive in the time you already have. It's presence, the ability to meet life as it is, without needing external structure to feel secure. You stop defining your worth by productivity, cultivate purposeful silence, and choose depth over novelty in your connections. You realize that the lie was that you ever had to earn your freedom. The truth is, you were free the moment you stopped waiting. This isn't just a personal quest, it's revolutionary. Because real education isn't about fitting into a system. It's about equipping yourself to shape your own lives. It's about empowering yourself to think for yourself, even if it leads you down a path no one else understands. This is about learning not to achieve, but to live more fully, to read not to pass an exam, but to feed your curiosity, to write not to meet a rubric, but to hear your own thoughts out loud and make sense of the chaos within. The real lie was never just about retirement or hard work. The real lie was that you ever had to earn your freedom. And the truth, you were free the moment you stopped waiting. What would it mean to truly live today? Not just prepare for life, but to live it fully, honestly, without the mask, without the timeline. If you're tired of waiting, of feeling lost when the structured path disappears, or of chasing goals that aren't truly your own, then this conversation is just the beginning. If this message resonated, remember that true insight comes from persistent exploration. Stay curious, keep questioning, and join us on this journey of awakening. Because the future doesn't belong to the obedient, it belongs to the clear, the conscious, the ones who learn to change the terms of their own existence.